Today we meet Alyze Sam and learn about her role in the blockchain and cryptocurrency community. Alyze speaks about her book and explains the different types of stablecoins. She's also involved in many projects, with Give Nation being one of her biggest. She discusses how it positively impacts children's lives today. I definitely enjoyed this interview with Alyze, learned a few things, and fully support her work. I hope you enjoy the interview and learn a few things yourself. All right, welcome back to Crypto Quandary. Today on the show we have Alyze Sam. She is an author of a stablecoin book, as well as you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, because I know you do a lot in the a lot of volunteer work.
I'm Alyze Sam. I started in crypto by accident. I was a nurse for 12 years, a hospice and home health nurse. So I took care of the mentally ill, the very sick and the dying. And then I was hit by a semi truck and sustained a spinal injury, multiple, and have a metal clavicle and broken bones throughout my body. So nursing became very hard. Well, my undergrad was in chemistry and I was a little bit of a science nerd. I grew up on IRC. And so I reached out and was an early investor in Bitcoin. So I reached out to industry leaders and I asked for education on how to be involved. And then back in 2016, I took out my nursing retirement and I went all in after learning everything about blockchain and learning how to code and being trained by Dmitry Buterin of Vitalik's father, actually. So at that point, I just felt like this was absolutely the future. And I was getting paid to write articles in the blockchain community. And my first book was a guide to stablecoins, a technical guide on stablecoins. And my second book was Stablecoin Economy, and it's the overall history and university text on stablecoins. It's being published now with Don Tapscott at the Blockchain Research Institute, and Alex will be writing my forward. So I have done a lot, and then we've launched multiple projects. So I've kind of done everything. I was an investor, a miner, and now a tech inventor.
You definitely have, because I did not know where to start. There's so many different things you've done and accomplished, in I would even say such a short amount of time. You were even the MC for what was it, the virtual blockchain, was it Blockchain Week 2020? I did attend that. I picked up the ticket and everything. That was awesome, by the way.
Thank you. We're getting final dates for that this month. So that'll be again this May with the Bad Crypto podcast. So follow up with virtualblockchainweek.com and you guys can check out our new dates. It'll be the first week of May. We just don't know which dates because it's Joel Comm's birthday, but nobody knows that. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna be talking to him in about 2 hours or so. So yeah. So I won't mention any of that, but it'll be nice to know.
Tell him I said I love him. We work on a lot of projects together. He's one of my dearest friends. Oh, in fact, here we go. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Bad Crypto podcast.
This is for you, Mr. Joe Com and TW, my BFFs.
Shout out to Bad Crypto podcast. Yeah, I actually been listening to them, and their podcast is really it's great. But one of the questions I had for you was in stable coins, you want to go into a little bit of it, like what your book is actually entails, besides just stable coin and it's pegged to the dollar, because I know there's a lot more. It gets a lot more detailed.
Yeah, there's actually different categories in stable coins. And, I didn't really like working in medical for over 12 years of my adult life. I didn't really know anything about it really. So I wanted to take like an overall history of finance and like where money came from. So I started and you can see my book there in the corner. And if you reach out to me, I'll just give you a free copy of it because we're on decentralized education. So why not, right? And
absolutely, I'm always looking for more education.
Yeah, anybody in your network too. Tell them that you sent them, and I will give them definitely a free copy. So
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah, my pleasure. So it's very simple. It's for the easiest people to understand. They say that you're not an expert unless you can explain this to a 5-year-old. So in order to explain stablecoins, you have to know a little bit about the history of finance in itself. And so I kind of start there with bartering all the way up to digital transactions and then digital money itself. So, after we talk about that, we open with Mastercoin, which was the first stable coin. And a stable coin, by definition, is a digital asset that's backed and or pegged to a real world asset. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fiat currency. There's 5 different categories of stable coins. Well, there are now that I created them. And stuck them in a book. Now people
There
are
you go.
following. Now people are following that. Thank you. So it helped me organize my life a little bit better, and I'm glad y'all caught on. But, so I broke them down into 5 different categories. So we've got stable coins, which are digital currencies that are backed by fiat currency, real world money. It can be a basket of fiat currencies, or it could be one fiat currency. So like Tether is USD to, the Tether is USD. It is just backed by USD. And then there's others that are actually like Facebook initially wanted to launch a stable coin that was backed and pegged by 15 different cryptocurrencies. So that would fall into that category as well. And then you have crypto backed stable coins, which are very self-explanatory. They're crypto backed and they follow that same method. They could be backed by Bitcoin only. They could be Bitcoin and Ether backed, and so on and so forth. There's some that have over 50 different cryptocurrencies pegged to them. And then you have a commodity backed stable coin. So that would be like gold or silver or even real estate. Art even is trying to make its way, even those are technically NFTs. And then we have algorithmic, and that's backed by data and futures, which is really, really fun to get into. There's a couple of cases that are trying to erupt right now. And so definitely check out algorithmic or sovereign stable coins. And then the last one is a hybrid. It's just a mix because a lot of times you'll see, algorithmic has never had a real true case study yet. So you'll see that backed with fiat currency. So it's a hybrid. And then you'll see fiat and crypto backed stable coins, which would also fall into that hybrid category. And last part in my book, I take you over the last top 10 stable coins and why they are important and breaking them each down so that you yourself can go through and use them to benefit you in your life. There's things people don't think that you can make money off of stable coins if you're a trader, and they're very disinterested in them. But I've talked about a method called the stop loss method and using your stable coins to actually develop assets in it. So as I said, I'm out to teach myself to become an expert as I launch a stable coin for children, Give Nation. So I would love your feedback and input. It was good enough that Don Tapscott was going to publish it, but I need to make it way times better. Because I'm just not an expert yet. So we got to get there.
One step at a time, right? That's it. You want to explain a little bit about Give Nation and what you do with them?
Give Nation is my heart and soul. So, yeah, thank you for allowing that. Give
Oh, of
Nation.
course. Absolutely. Anything for the kids, go for it. 100%.
Thank you. Yeah, Give Nation, we are in beta right now. It's givenation.world. We will be a stable digital asset for children 5 to 18, and we will reward them for actually learning. So they will go, and you can go on our mobile app now. We have a mobile app, and you can earn and learn, and you can donate to charities and learn about them, and then you'll get a kickback in stablecoin for doing good things with your money. And then kids, they have a giving tree. And so they can donate to other kids. They can do campaigns. We try to teach them entrepreneur skills. And then we've partnered with some of the most sought after educational centers in the world, Aflatoon International and the London Institute of Banking, and then Code Ninja. So these kids, we want them to be super independent, real well-rounded, and learn about money from an early age, because I was 30 something years old when I bought cash flow, and that's not cool. So now that
Yeah,
I know kind of what I'm doing, got to make sure the kids do it super early on.
I totally agree. I didn't get into this until like I was deployed in Qatar, and I was what was that? This was only like 2017, so I'm 35 now. We're talking like, a couple years ago. So, and I wish I was like 20 when I got into it, or even younger. My father had told me, when I was younger, he says, "Oh yeah, take a coding class." I took a coding class, didn't finish it in high school. Now I'm actually going through with that because that's what I'm passionate about. I'm not passionate about anything else but, different types of coding and blockchain coding, cryptocurrencies, the whole nine. Now I'm interested in these stable coins, so I'm definitely going to read your book. And absolutely, I want to learn all these different types of coins. And there's just so much in the crypto world, blockchain. I mean, from NFTs to stable coins to is so much. I'm sure it's crazy.
It's exciting though, and it really keeps you on your toes. You have to be absolutely addicted in order to keep up. And no, I don't think anybody can at this point. Very early, I mean, I've been in it for almost 6 years now. And, very early on, news would come out, once a day, maybe every couple of other days. It wasn't like this. And now, like, if you're logged into Telegram and you're on the Cointelegraph channel, every 15 minutes, it seems like there's another breaking news. And it's
Yes.
like, I remember being the weird person in the room. They're like, she stinks of Bitcoin, and it's so different now. It's so different. Like, people are calling me like, will you write an article? Will you talk about it? I'm like, oh, I thought I stunk of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and you've written articles for how many different news publications? How many
um,
different types of media outlets?
I have 13 different publishing outlets currently. Yeah.
That's crazy. So,
Hackernoon being one of my favorite, and I'll give a shout out to the Capitol as well. So you guys are the best. David Smook and all my guys over at the Capitol, you guys, they were formerly Altcoin magazine, but they are just
okay,
fantastic.
nice. I'm gonna have to make sure if I'm not already following them on Twitter, I'll have to go and give them a follow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They have great writers over there. Not me, of course, but everybody else is fantastic.
Can't discredit yourself. Come on. Um, yeah, I went through the same thing though with the whole Bitcoin. Everybody's making fun, laughing, this and that. I said, okay, all right, whatever. It's not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And when I left Guam, they actually gave me a machete that says Bitcoin is the future on it. And look, and that was back about a year and a half ago. And look where we're at now. We're hitting that a new all-time high again. So
I know, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And when it dipped, I remember this a CPA that I worked with for years. He called me. He's like, "You're tanking again." And then like it turned around like 2 days later, and I called him back and I was like, "I would say I told you so, but I've done it so many times before." And now I just fly my flag in my house right
should have
there.
listened to me. I love that. Should have listened to me. I like that. Stay humble, be kind, work hard, love, vision, courage. I
Oh,
love it.
that's from Vesa. Vesa brought that to me in the hospital in
Oh,
Miami. Him and his
nice.
girlfriend Lotta. If you guys don't know Vesa, he is a world famous artist, and he has taken his art and made it crypto. He's releasing NFTs right now about his digital work,
Okay.
and it is absolutely amazing. And his paintings sell from anywhere from 10 to 20,000 and 100,000 and so on dollars. So grabbing an affordable NFT that you can digitally carry around, and that's one of a kind from a world famous artist, is absolutely amazing. So
I'm gonna
definitely
have
check
to.
out Vesa. It's
I'm gonna have to.
artbyvesa.com.
What is it? Say that again. That website.
I'm sorry, art by Vesa, VESA.com, I believe is his
Okay.
website.
I'm gonna put that in the links too. I'm gonna have your book in the links as well, or in the description. I'll post all these links in the description, and I'll make sure I have everyone before I go ahead and post the video. But I mean, that NFTs are huge now, and they're going from like, blockchain heroes to I mean, Street Fighter's coming out with them. Who else? You can put them. You can take your book and make it an NFT. Did you know that yet?
I did. You can actually print podcast in those now.
Yes, I saw
Yeah.
that yesterday. It's just,
And then we've got, I don't know if I have it right on me though, but yeah, the blockchain hero cards. Travis Wright brought me my deck, and I thought it was right at my desk. But yeah, they even made a Miss Stability for a stablecoin card, and Vesa is a blockchain hero too, and Ken Bozak and
yep. I have. I got
yeah.
a bunch of Ken Bozak's. I
Oh,
was
did
on
you?
his. Yeah, I was on his Not Another Bitcoin podcast yesterday. We were talking
Oh,
about NFTs for about a straight hour.
he's
But
he's big on him. He's gonna make $1 billion on him,
he
guarantee
is.
you.
He's
And
got me going crazy with them, buying them, and I'm now every time I see a drop, I go after it. It's wild. I mean, I'm not gonna, it's like it's when they come out. As soon as they come out, you gotta hit it right. It's like the lottery. You just gotta pick it up if you can and hang on to them.
somebody burned a bunch of my Mistability coin NFTs for the blockchain heroes, so they're super rare now. Well, not super rare, but like it's one of the more rare cards. And I was like, I was in a group chat of the guy that was doing it. He's like, I bought it. I got a bunch of you, and I was like, oh, that's sweet. I'm gonna burn them. And I was like, why would you do that? He was like, you know why? He's like, because it's gonna make the other ones more valuable. And I was like, it still hurts my heart a little. Like I can't feel it, but I feel it emotionally, I think.
Because he said, "Yeah, that's not something you want to say to somebody. I'm gonna burn them. I'm gonna burn you." What?
He did. He burnt me.
Mm.
There's lots of dead Mistabilities.
Well, now your digital version of yourself is more valuable. That's crazy,
If only that were true in real life, right? No, I'm kidding.
right? Can you imagine your self-worth goes up when your digital value goes up? Wait for it. It'll come in the future. Watch. Eventually, who knows what's coming? I mean, look what
Oh,
we already have.
for sure. Oh yeah. There'll be like all sorts of digital ranking and all sorts of stuff to
Oh
come.
yeah. They're,
Oh,
they're gonna. I wouldn't imagine seeing like I would imagine seeing like a car title on the blockchain, a
yeah.
house title on the blockchain eventually.
Ubiquity is a great real estate blockchain project that's ran by Nathan Walsack, and my lawyer Wes Williams is on that project too. So, yeah, smart contracts in real estate are probably going to be huge and legal.
Mm,
Very very big.
absolutely, I totally agree. I don't know. And tax. Who? Here's a question that everybody would probably love to know. Do you have any recommendations since tax season's coming up for anybody to like? Do you know anybody who's good with doing taxes for crypto?
Man, I do actually, but that's because I've been in it for a long time. And in the beginning, you kind of had to be a CPA or find one very quickly
Yeah.
because you don't want to do, you guys, a word of caption here: when you are trading and investing in cryptocurrencies, please do call a professional that is experienced with crypto. I've used Patrick Devereaux for several years. My lawyer was Williams, and there's a bunch of CPAs. Another one, Hector. He lives in Kansas City, real close to me, and Travis from Bad Crypto. So I've used him as well. There's tons of people, but make sure that they've been in it for a minute, or they're working under somebody that's directing them, that's experienced in this, because literally the laws are changing daily.
Oh yeah.
And it's absolutely terrifying. One minute they're illegal, and the next minute they're taxed as a commodity, and then the next minute it's very different, and it's very different based on your location as well. So yeah, definitely, please, I'm begging you, call a CPA when you invest in cryptocurrencies that has experience in crypto.
Yes, absolutely, totally agree. It's a wild west out there with the with all that. But
Yeah. It is. And that's because it's evolving. That's a good thing. We want that. It used to just be unregulated. And a lot of people hate that they're regulating a lot of things. But, there's going to be coins that probably won't be regulated in some form, and we really need to think about that. The regulation means adoption, because that means we're getting attention. And we really need to think about that. And honestly, I've said from the beginning, like, I'm not necessarily a fan of stable coins in most cases. But because, I believe in a decentralized economy, a truly decentralized economy, and you can't get that with stable coins. And so my desire is to see us use the technology like stable coins in efforts to educate the average consumer, on digital currencies. Because if we can get people comfortable with using stable coins, we can get them comfortable with using Bitcoin or, other cryptocurrencies. But we can't go 0 to 100, and we can't, tell them how dumb they are for loving fiat,
right,
and we can't
exactly.
say, yeah, we can't lecture anybody. We have to meet people where they are to make, any type of difference. And what we can do, though, is we can tell them right now there's a national coin shortage, and you have to use digital transactions a lot of places, and people are not using fiat because it can carry the coronavirus on it.
Mhm.
And COVID-19, it can stick on a surface for over 14 days, that I think I read. And so, we can tell them this is safer. This is led by the people. And these are the benefits. And we can start with stable coins, and then, bring them over to, what we truly desire, something better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The big old Bitcoin. There's
Yeah.
just so many differences to it, and people ask, and it's so much to explain. So I agree with you on that. Bring them into the stable coins, show them, let them get a little bit of hands on with it, and let them start, let them take the walk, so to speak, through that forest. Let them take a couple steps and then ask for help, because
Yeah.
it'll come, it'll happen, because everything eventually, I mean, so many trillions of dollars have been printed. And like you said, with the virus going around, there was a couple places I was at, and I had cash, and I didn't want to hold it, so I trying to get rid of it, and oh, we don't take cash. I said, oh, okay, oh well, so much for that. But yeah, it's going that way. It's going in that direction. So
Yeah, it's the world is changing. And the thing of it is, I think a huge problem that the blockchain industry has really had is that we like to go and we like to educate people beyond what they're willing to
yeah,
accept. And
passion behind it.
right, yeah, we love it. We know it's the future. We look crazy. And it's true. We do, because we're so passionate, and we know so strongly that this is absolutely going to change the future. And you see two types of people that really understand and kind of cling on to cryptocurrencies. And that's very wealthy people that understand how to make money, and they understand technology. And then it's very underprivileged people that are like, that is an avenue out of this, like I see that as the future, and that can change my position. So I feel very strongly about it. And so when you get, those types of people early on, it obviously now like more and more common people are coming in, more and more average people, I should say. But, for the people that really believe in it very strongly, like that, they have an intense education, or they see they see the value in it within the future. So how are we not going to be excited? Like when I first started seeing this and talking about it 6 years ago, like Bitcoin's 11 years old, like this was very early on. And people are like, are you going through a phase? Cause you're like turning 30, like you got issues, like maybe a mental illness is coming out. Why don't you want to be a nurse anymore? Well, I got hit by a semi and I can get rich off of Bitcoin. Yeah, she's definitely a psych patient at this point. Yeah, And I mean, that's like how they looked at it. Like my undergrad was in chemistry. There was things that I could possibly do, like go forth with my education and become an educator in a university or so on. But I just knew taking coding, and I knew like mining, and I knew learning digital finance and starting something to solve some issues that I discovered in the medical world, that was going to bring value to my family, to me, and hopefully to the world. And I didn't think that I could do that as a disabled nurse. And so I know that all of us have a really fantastic story of why we are so passionate. But if we want people to jump on board, we always have to meet them where they are, because we do look a little crazy and
We
terribly.
do. That's the bottom line. I mean, it's true. We all do. Because we get so, like you said, so passionate and excited about it. We start talking about the mempool, and they're like, the what? You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things. It's like baby steps, easy. You got to remind yourself, like, all right, it's enough. Bitcoin. There's so many satoshis equal one Bitcoin. All right, that's it for today. It's like we got to slow ourselves down. But
And
yeah,
think about it too. Like, we went through the same, depending on how old your listeners are, like we went through the same thing when the World Wide Web boom happened. We had the dot-com boom. And I remember working at CompUSA. I don't think it exists anymore. They shut all of them down like in 2005
yeah,
or something. But I worked out there as a computer networker and sold computers out there. And I remember just like preaching to them and in college going, okay, so you're going to stick this disk in your computer drive. And I went into all the technical things that happened to connect to the internet, and then made the sound and told them what was happening during do, 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 do,
yeah.
and you know what? Now we just go, what do you want for lunch?
Right.
It's on the way,
Yeah.
and it's like, I probably wasted like, I don't know, the 17 years old to 20 years old trying to explain the internet to people and why it was the future. And at that point, everybody was just like, okay, whatever. And then I went into nursing. So,
Yeah, the
because
old AOL dial-up, right? Was it that? No, it wasn't to the. Was it still dial-up back then? No, not too.
no, I'm in Kansas. And so I live in a more rural area. And so it like we had the dial-up disc here in 1998. So yeah, we were still kind of doing that back then. And then we went to the modems, and
Yeah,
now, yeah, and they were big though. They were pretty big modems
yeah.
corner.
It's,
And you had to, they weren't wireless back then either. Like I had to go crawl under the desk and hook them up. And then I was telling people you can meet friends off of IRC
oh,
and,
gee.
and download AOL chat.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh yeah, I was a weird internet kid very early on.
But look where it's taking you now. I mean, you've written books. You've learned coding. Um, so many different things, so many different avenues this technology in general can take a person. It's wild, and there's so many different languages of coding. It's unfathomable to even think about them all. I mean, from I'm not gonna get into it, but JavaScript to Solidity to there's all different ones. I'm just learning Java, and it's tough because I work nights, but like it's there's so many languages. I guess once you learn Java though, it's pretty much like, you pick up the other ones a little bit easier, I would assume, right?
Yeah. I think you're supposed to start with HTTP or sorry,
HTML.
HTML. Yeah, sorry. I just
That I
wrote an
did.
article, HTTP versus IPFS. And so I'm getting all the acronyms
Yep.
and I'm a terrible coder to start out. I got all my training from blockgeeks.org from Dimitri Buterin. Vitalik's dad, I emailed him on LinkedIn. We were connected. And, I told him that I was a nurse for 12 years. I was hit by a semi and, I couldn't work hardly anymore, that I was having spinal surgery and I was bedbound. And so I was like, I have to learn how to make money and not be disabled. And, what can I do to get involved in this? And at that time, there wasn't a lot, like people didn't need really articles written a whole lot during that time. There just wasn't much going on. Like people were developing the technology so that we could start these ecosystems. Other than that, a lot of it was just conversations and trying to figure things out and projecting theories on each other. And so I just needed to get my hands on something and try to understand something. And I went to I took his advice from what is now Smart Geek or Block Geeks, I'm sorry. And I went to Free Code Camp and I went here locally with my best friend from high school, Christina. And I think we went to like 3 meets and I learned like 2 languages. And then I was just like, man, this is really not for me, because I was just struggling with it where I had other talents elsewhere. I just wanted to gain an understanding
Mhm.
and to be able to talk with the devs that are developing it so I could kind of figure out like when I was telling them the technology that I wanted developed, that I would have an understanding overall. And to be honest with you, like for me personally, because I, don't want to work as a coder, it was probably a waste of time, but I think everybody should pick it up. I think it should be an elective in high school. For
Right.
sure. I think kids should
Oh,
learn
definitely.
because they
Especially
need,
now.
yeah, and it's like learning a new language, and it opens up your brain neurons and pathways, and it excites it the same way learning a real language, a vocal language too. And so it increases and enhances your intelligence. So I think we need to be teaching them in school, very early on. I have a almost 3-year old, and then I have an adopted daughter and son too,
Mhm.
and we have them trying to take coding classes because we think it's just really important, and they're not necessarily terribly interested in it, so we pay them to do it because we know that it's going to be rewards, to their
Mhm.
education and value. So, I try to figure out how to get kids inspired in STEM, and when they're always around it, they usually will gravitate towards it. But you have to show them different avenues to use that. Like our older ones, they like video games. So we tell them that's how we make video games, and we allow them to make video games. And that's how we can get them a little bit more interested in it.
That's smart. That's super smart. Yeah, if they see something like that, they love a video game, they're gonna wanna if you tell them like, "Well, that's how you make one. Teach me," they're gonna wanna make their own characters and different types of, games. So, I mean, that's and their
Well,
brains at that age, their brains are so moldable, like, you know what I mean? They'll pick that up like this.
yeah, true. And that's what happened to Vitalik. He started coding at a very young age and writing for Bitcoin magazine. And I mean, that's Ethereum. There you go. So that there you go. And so I think everybody, like, well, all of us tech nerds are always like, oh, I hope our kids, that happens to our kids, but we
Yeah.
can't push that on our kids either. That's another, we got to meet them where they are and inspire them, but also inspire them to have an overall knowledge of everything about the world, as, just a little bit of everything. And there's a lot of great programs out there to help kids learn how to code, where they can code their own games, where they can even code math problems. There's blockchain projects out there that are allowing people open sourcing to build games on their ecosystem. So, and there's tons and tons and tons of hackathons, and they'll get you the right education that you need. Any of us in the tech community, if we don't have an answer for something, we typically know somebody that does, and they definitely want to help everybody. We want everybody in. There's room for everybody, and we're in quarantine, and technology is the future. So if we don't teach people correctly, we have to deal with. So we're making sure everybody gets what they need.
It's amazing, because I haven't really came across anybody in the cryptocurrency or blockchain space that did not want to help somebody. Usually everybody, we're all like, all right, who can we help? And it's awesome. I have a lot of people contact me every day. People I haven't spoke to in a long time, or like people from high school, and they'll just, hey, so this Bitcoin thing, that's what I'll get, this Bitcoin thing. I'm like, all right, so like you said, you got to feed them little bit by little bit, and it's always tell them the three things are just do your research, don't, they call it FOMO, and just don't do anything irrational. Don't just click a buy button just to say you have it. It's take your time, read.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is and I would also add in there, make sure that you're vastly educated all over. I know you said do your own research, but when you're investing in cryptocurrency, you are your own bank. There's a lot of responsibilities with being your own bank. The reason that we use typical banking industries is because we're lazy and we're uneducated. And I don't mean that in a hateful way. I have a bank because I don't know how to accept wire transfers. Like, I can't personally do it. I'm uneducated there. That's not an embarrassment. I've never been a banker, but I do know how to accept international travels through the blockchain using cryptocurrency. But that also comes with a great deal of responsibility, because if you're getting vast amounts of transfers, like banks do, I'm not saying individuals always do, but if you are, passing by a lot of money, you do have to be very careful, and you need to know the difference between, a hard wallet and then storing, on an exchange, and you need to know the risk and benefits of both. You need to realize that just like fiat, you can drop $1, you can lose a Bitcoin very easily too, and most of us have accidentally lost some or transferred Ethereum to a Bitcoin wallet. So there's new technology coming out that's going to prevent some of that. You guys can look up constellationnetwork.io and lattice.exchange. Those are two projects that I'm launching as well. Constellation is going to be, and Lattice are going to be cross-chain blockchains, and it's the first ever done. So that is absolutely fantastic. And Constellation stores data for the U.S. The U.S. Air Force. We just partnered with NASA and Space Isaac.
Why don't I know about this? I'm in the Air Force.
Oh, well, I don't know, but constellationnetwork.io, it's one of my biggest projects that I'm launching right now. They are they're a Fortune 500 company. They're one of the top 150 cryptocurrencies, DAG is. So yeah, definitely check out what they're doing, because some of the builds that we're doing are incredible. And one of them is going to incorporate a nonprofit blockchain system. So yeah, and that'll go for lending, and then you'll get like blockchain. It's on the blockchain. Like when they give you lending, you can actually accrue some interest through. I think they're going to do a crowdfunding method. The white paper's not completely finished yet, but Yeah, it'll be a really, really exciting thing to see on the horizon. So check them out.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I've been saying they're gonna get into blockchain eventually because I do the I don't want to say too much, but I do the accounting for as a part of my job for fuel. So it's like, I could see all that being on a blockchain, and there are certain things that I've seen and I'm like, is that blockchain or not? Because just certain things like TXs and stuff like that, TXIDs and all that. But I'm
Mhm.
like, it's not though. Like, this is so weird. So I could see it being incorporated into there, gradually, and things changing like that, but being so much more, just an improvement on technology. Very easily more easier usage and stuff like that, more compatibility with it with all the programs. And I am going to ask you for those links if you could be as kind as to send them to me so I can put all these links in the description of the YouTube description area. But is there anything else that you would want to get across? Any other projects you're working on, or?
I'm working on a few, but um, patglobal.io is launching an IPFS project. I've done a lot of research on that and published a guide on Hackernoon on IPFS. So you might check that out.
I
And they
did
also,
read that. I read those articles that you'd done on
oh, did it?
IPFS. I did because I was looking into what is it? I have a website with them. Un You know what I'm talking about? The other I can't. I'm blanking out. I don't know why. Probably because I've been up all night since I'm on night shifts.
Oh,
Yeah. Uh, it's a IPFS. I launched the website on IPFS basically. So I came across your articles and I was reading about that.
oh, I didn't even know they were posted on there. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, I came across it somewhere. And I says,
Yeah.
"Oh, she's got articles on there." Yeah,
It's amazing when you write an article and all the places that they find it and pick it up and it publishes. And I'm just like, oh, well, that's cool. I didn't know that was in Russian. That sounds great in Chinese. So
yeah.
it was like, it makes you take a step back and it's just like, I should probably stop with the weird jokes in my articles and I should, probably dial back my personality a little bit because some people are actually reading this now.
I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the articles though. The reason I went looking was because it was Unstoppable Domains. I'm sure you're familiar with them, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, that's amazing. I'll have to give them a shout out too then. Thank you.
But
So
yeah, I'm gonna take all the links, put them in the description, and I will put your book as well, the Amazon, the link to the Amazon, your book link, your Amazon link in the description. Um, I will say so. Everybody usually asks, like, and it's not financial advice. This is not financial advice should be given out, but everybody always says, "Oh, how much do you think Bitcoin will be worth in, by the end of 2021?" Just as like a funny, whatever to end the show. I'm gonna go out and say, how much do you think Ethereum will be by the end of, say, 2021? Just as a funny, not financial advice. Just a guess.
Ethereum,
Yeah.
you know what? I can say one thing. How about this? I can say crypto and blockchain in itself is invaluable. There you go.
Sounds good.
I mean, and I truly believe that. So, yeah, I don't, and the people, I think when you're focused on the price and what it's going to be at, I think that you really lose the vision of what cryptocurrency aims
Facts.
to be. And I don't mean to be a Karen, I really don't, but but, everybody does. They always ask us to give it a price, and, we can't do that because you drive the price, not
That's,
us.
that's
You
true. Yeah.
so for those of you that want an answer to that, I ask you, How often are you using it? Are you paying for your coffee with it because you can? You're the one that's driving this price. You're responsible for it. So you tell me, how much is it going to be worth? Because how much is it worth to you?
Absolutely. So what she's saying right there, everybody, is are you using crypto or are you still using fiat? But looking for how far the prices are going to go. But if you don't use it, they say if you don't use it, you lose it. So start using it. There's so many apps out there. The Speeding app, there's the crypto card, there's the Fold app just came out with I mean, there's so many out there. So
Yeah, you can hook your Coinbase up to your PayPal and just instantly in and out, in and out, in and out. And so, yeah, I would say definitely, definitely. And if you don't use it, you don't lose it though. Don't say that, because you can stick it in a hard wallet
oh,
and put it
absolutely.
you can put it
Ledgers,
in
and
a
I'm
safe.
always preaching that. I'm always preaching that. I didn't mean it like that. I meant,
Be
everybody's gonna.
responsible and you won't lose it. Do your own research and
Yes,
you won't lose it.
yes. Treasure, Ledger,
There you go.
Swift
Yeah.
Case, I think it's called Swift Key. There's so many of them.
Oh yeah, I have a Swiss key cape over there. I have crypto crap all over my office.
I have to hang up once I finish the construction of my house, I have to put up I have one of Lucio Paletti's Bitcoin thing, and I gotta put it behind me. This isn't gonna be my area, but eventually like the walls will be painted and I'll have my desk up.
This will be out. I guess since I think no, I do. I record 2 more shows before the end of the year, but I'll show you this since you're one of my last interviews at the end of the year. But this was my travel pad for some of the
Oh,
summer. So,
nice.
but the don't vote John McAfee. That was Team McAfee. We were traveling events and handing out
That's
the
awesome.
but so there you go. There's my 2020 for you.
That looks like a good 2020 to me.
It was a great one, let me tell you. So, well, thank you guys all for listening. If you reach out to me on social media, Alyze Sam, I will definitely give any of this lovely gentleman's fans a copy of my book and would absolutely love to help you on your journey or encourage you in any way. And I really appreciate you so much for touching. This is the third time we tried to hook up because
Yep.
I couldn't come and then you had an accident and man, but we finally got here and we're walking out of 2020 excited and smiling. And I'm really happy that we finally made it. So thank
Me
you.
too. Cheers to 2021. I'll say that. And
Yes.
2020, both
Yes.
of them.
All right.
Absolutely. But thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for all the education that you've helped, not only myself with, but all the fans and viewers and everything, subscribers, especially with the stable coins. And I will have all the links in the description. And hopefully we could do this again. And also you said virtual blockchain week is coming up in May again, right?
Yeah, virtual blockchain week will be in May. So we'll give
Great. So
the Bad Crypto podcast will release the dates, probably the first of the year.
okay, sounds good. So I'll have all stuff on the channel for that too, advertisements and whatnot. So cool.
Awesome.
Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. All
All right,
right.
take care.
Bye.